You know when you have a friend and you're in school and you can just tell that whatever it is that he's going to do a lot better than you. You're there like sniffing glue in high school or whatever, and he's actually understanding why the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That is what Motegi is with the Wheel Pros name and pretty much every other wheel company when you compare it to. On this episode of Wheel History, we're gonna talk none other than the racing. We're gonna be talking about the guys that you probably heard of 10 years ago and then forgot about, then realized that they're still doing stuff. We're gonna talk to you about none other than the infamous Motegi Racing Wheel. Motegi Racing is a wheel company that's pretty difficult to understand, especially when you consider the fact that Wheel Pros is a giant umbrella that also envelops the Motegi Racing Wheel. Motegi's name is founded in the Japanese prefecture of Tochigi, which is home of the twin ring Motegi, which was founded by Honda Motorsport and pretty much introduces people to everything automotive related. So is that where Motegi gets their name from? Can't call it because we don't know. But I would assume that if you're gonna be talking about Motegi Racing Wheels, and the only other definition in the world right now is that exact location and the fact that they have an automotive history related, motorsport, I would say that our guess is pretty good. Motegi's racing history is convoluted and continues to be until probably I'd say the last 10 years or so, because what they were made for and where they came from is relatively new. Motegi is a brand that was built and created for enthusiasts of a different pedigree. They weren't really meant for people like Joe Schmo to put their wheels on. It was meant for the high-end racing enthusiasts. Which is a little weird considering what we really remember Motegi for, which I would probably say is more like the Fast and the Furious racing scene, which really wasn't a racing scene at all. Motegi is under the racing wheel line of Wheel Pros, and Wheel Pros is a conglomerate of different companies. And if you didn't know that, well, the more you know. Wheel Pros has a lot of different brands under their umbrella, and they pretty much started by just hustling, and now they own like 10 different wheel companies. So in short, Wheel Pros was kind of like the rich mother and father, whereas Motegi Racing was like the smart kid that just wanted to hustle and make things work, but he also had rich parents behind him, so he could kind of do whatever he wanted, and Motegi did just that. You see, the Motegi Racing name is kind of divided into two subgroups. You have the people that you bring up like your normal mom and pop, and they're gonna be like, yeah, Fast and the Furious. And you bring it up to an avid racing driver, and they're gonna be like, yes, Motegi Racing. Those guys are the bomb.com. Motegi Racing doesn't have an about us. Why? Because they're too busy making the space for their racing information, because that's all they give a damn about, because that's all Motegi Racing wants to give a damn about. I would yell, but then people are gonna say we're like Donut Media, and I just can't yell like he can. I don't even have the same facial hair as that man. That guy's got something going on. 24-hour Le Mans, IMSA, FI World Endurance Championship, Pirelli World Challenge, Porsche Cup Series, pretty much everything you could possibly imagine that has to do with motorsport, they are involved in, and they do it damn well. Let me just give you just a general gist of how good they are at what they do. Not only that, when you look into the Ferrari teams that Motegi Racing is partnered with, they are one of 2 companies to actually be partnered officially with Ferrari, which means that nearly every single Ferrari race car that is out there doing things that are way better than I could possibly do on a racetrack, they are equipped with Motegi Wheels. The only other company that's actually involved with Ferrari as an official partner besides Motegi Racing is Shell. So if you want to put that in perspective, they seem to be doing something right. And these wheels are on everything. Now you might be wondering like, why is the racing scene so important versus like the entry-level cast thing? And that is, well, a pretty good question. But just like how we would rather enjoy doing stuff like this than being stuck in a cubicle, Motegi Racing enjoys being a part of what they think is the most crucial and just fun part of, selling wheels. And that's being involved in the people that really use their wheels. And you can't get any more pure than a high performance driving event or any sort of professional racing event, and that's what Motegi focuses on. And that's what makes Motegi very good at what they do, and is probably the reason why they're so involved in so many motorsports. There's a lot of stuff that Motegi Racing does with their R&D that allows them to produce wheels for people like you and me. And that's what Motegi has been all about since the beginning. They just wanted to make wheels that could handle hard cornering, that could handle the high heat, that could handle everything that you could possibly throw at it during a racing event and survive. The difference between Advan and Rays and those sort of companies overseas is that not a lot of people know that Motegi is involved at the level that they are. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, well, when it comes down to marketing Motegi Wheels, they just really choose not to get involved in. And that's just something that some companies choose to do and some companies don't. And here's the thing, with Wheel Pros and like the different companies that have acquired and passed on and this, that, and the other thing, if you really get into the whole paperwork ordeal of it, anytime a company gets acquired by another company, usually like the company brand, it almost loses faith. It loses brand. Either people figure it out or people don't like the fact that it was bought out or something in between, and a lot of times the brand itself kind of just dissolves and dies. Companies just don't survive a lot of times with acquisitions, and a lot of times the tech gets passed on to other companies. With Motegi and their involvement with Wheel Pros, you never have to worry about that because Motegi just kind of does their own thing. And because of the fact that they're involved as they are, they just continue to just take pride in what they do, which is making high-end performance racing wheels for any sort of motorsport you can possibly imagine. And Motegi is going to continue to be one of those brands that you're probably not really going to hear a whole lot about, especially if you're on the side of the fence where you just want some wheels for daily driving or maybe tossing around a track. But when it comes down to the professional racing scene, when it comes down to the stuff that they actually dial into a T, where they spend 99% of their time, Motegi is doing extremely well, and you'll likely really not hear about them a whole lot in our eyes because Motegi is just a brand that is, well, a solid brand. But when it comes down to you wanting something that's going to be a high-end application for something you're running around the track, Motegi is definitely one of those brands that I don't think is going to go away anytime soon. You're probably going to see them come out with a few more wheels at the end of the year because they're trying to get back into the big brand thing. Motegi's been kind of sitting on the sidelines a little bit, and from what we've heard, not to say that we have connections, but we have connections, is that they are going to be coming out with some new stuff for everybody because they want to get back into getting a little bit more limelight while still playing a part in the racing scene. So hopefully we see more of the Motegi Racing line. We definitely want to see more, and we'll see what happens with the brand. So now that we're done with all of that, it's time for a giveaway. I already picked it up. I already got it right here. The man, the myth, the legend, the winner of this last week's video is Michael Midget. Michael said that Dom is the bomb, and he said that Alex thinks that I can't talk certain humor, and that's the reason that I'm holding back. I will have you know that you are 125% correct. But congratulations, you won a shirt and a Valve Sim cap. For this week's winner, all we gotta want you to do is subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, drop a comment saying that you subscribed. And if you can convince us in a really well-worded way why you should deserve the next giveaway, we'll just toss it your way. All you gotta do is we're gonna give away a t-shirt this time, so just let us know what you'd like to get. But we want to see you at least subscribe. It's pretty simple. I don't even think that's that hard. But I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, if you're looking to get into Motegi Wheels, check out fitmentindustries.com. We also have wheels, tires, suspension, all of that stuff. But I'm Alex. We'll see you later. Peace.